Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Lance, and welcome to The Motive. And today, you better get ready because we got Tucker and PBD on the Daily Wire's future. I don't know. We gonna see. Let's rock.
On the conservative side, you got Daily Wire that they're dealing with, whatever happened between Candace and Ben, which has been a problem that they've been trying to clean up. Whatever the reasons are behind it, that's the landscape of what the decision-making process, you kind of saw a few different things. Everybody, whether it's from October 7th, specifically from October 7th is a place to go. Everybody, you can tell, like if we're living in LA and we're trying to find out what gang everybody is in, okay, those guys are MS-13. These guys are Blood. They're Crip. They're this, they're that. You all of a sudden saw, okay, these guys are Israel above all. These guys are conservative above all. These guys are...
Yo, that's a fact. When things start to hit the wall, you knew where everybody stood, especially when the war popped off, right? This is so true. Patrick is speaking facts right here. I got to agree with him. Back to the video.
Debate above all. These guys are discourse above all. This is curiosity. This is built on pure money and profit and wanting to sell and be a SPAC and go on the stock market and sell, and I'm a billionaire. No problem. But what you did filter out in the last, it was accelerated. It was like, boom. We learned about everybody in 6 months.
Yeah.
From October 7th. It was everybody got exposed. And now they're trying to backtrack. Well, no, not really. Well, no, not really. Well, no, not really. And that, well, no, not really is going to be tough because you have to maneuver through a lot of the stuff that you said in the last 6-7 months. And the market's going to hold everybody accountable for what you said. Those clips are not going away, right? So I think.
And you have to prove it. You have to prove the no, not reallys, right? Right? You got to come with the facts because if not, now you're no longer credible. Oh, let's see if PBD talks about that. Back to the video.
So what's their future look like?
Who specifically?
Daily Wire.
Daily Wire. What's their future look like? I don't know. I don't know their board. I know they have the factoring of fracking guys, the oil billionaire guys, that based on what I hear from people, they're Jews for Jesus and good guys. You have to sit there and ask yourself, okay, if you make this decision the way you did, no problem. We'll support your decision. Is there a board in Daily Wire? I don't know. Do Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro have a board to process when they're making a big decision? Maybe, maybe not. If they do, board is held accountable. Was it a good decision? Was it not? If they don't, then the money people have to say, well, you give a lot of, freedom to these guys to make the decision. So then the money people are going to go out there to want to raise more money. And who can you now go to raise money? You can definitely go to every single billionaire that's Jewish and say, hey, look what we did. You should be proud of us. Here's a position we took. No problem. We'll give you $200 million. And there's a lot of money there. That money's not going away. And that money's all over the place. So if somebody is pro-Israel and there's a lot of money there, that's an unlimited access to money. So I don't think that's going to go away. People are like, oh my God, Daily Wire is going to go. No, they're not. They got money. And there's plenty of people that are going to back them up. Then you have to see who backs them up. What media organizations behind closed doors, what institutions, organizations will go after anybody that says anything bad about them. In what way? Defamation? Digging up stories, articles? Is that what they're going to do? Who knows? Character assassination? Nobody knows. That's speculative to see what they're going to be doing. So,
and that's what they do. As soon as you back somebody, they start digging up for things. They start going in your closet and seeing what you did in the past. Right? To try to get some dirt on your name. Yo, PBD is spitting in this interview. I'm not going to lie. He's definitely talking facts. Back to the interview.
So it sounds like you're saying that October 7th split the right.
In a big way.
In a big way?
In a big way. In a big way. Massive way. And like imagine what Lincoln Project did to 2020. Where, we had all these guys on it and the reports came out, this guy's pedophile, that guy's this. It was just a complete mess when we, when we had this conversation. One of the most fieriest one we had. Schmidt and Vinny went at it. It was viral all over the place.
You had Steve Schmidt on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've had a lot of weird people on. We've had
He's
Anthony
a really,
Weiner on.
I know him well. I've known him for 25 years.
Yeah.
Literally 25, almost 30. He's really a damaged character. Whoa. But not stupid.
Yeah, definitely not stupid. But damaged makes sense because you feel his rage. Like he's really got some, I don't know if it's anger issues or true hatred for certain people. So now imagine Lincoln Project. Now you got multiple of them that's going through it. Yeah. And by the way, a part of DeSantis Trump was also not a good thing. I think we'll recover from that. No problem. I think DeSantis is making the right moves right now, getting closer to Trump, building that relationship. I'm here to support you. I think that's the right move for him to make. I wish he would have done it earlier, but never.
I was just about to say that. Where was that energy before? Right? I mean, true, better late than never. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Back to the video.
Too late for him to take that route. But I think
why didn't he get the nomination?
For VP or for what?
For president.
Oh,
I think he ran for the Republican nomination.
No, I listen. I think there was a.
Is that a dumb question?
No, listen. I said this. To me, he's not a alpha to be a one. He's a flag carrier.
Yep.
And sometimes flag carriers that, like, he needs to go read the book 48 Laws of Power. I don't know if you read the book 48 Laws of Power. He needs to go read 48 Laws of Power by himself. Don't tell anybody about it. If he sees this, okay, he needs to go read 48 Laws of Power and realize the number one mistake DeSantis made is law number one. That's all he needs to do. That's all I'm going to say.
What's law number one?
Law number one is never outshine your master. And that's what he did. You don't ever do that, okay? And in this case, master is a bad word to use, but
that's why I said, right? But ultimately, you got to know your role, right? If your role is best played as, an assistant, but you can be the best assistant and actually help the country, then play your role. That's your role, right? That's where you best fit at, right? So I love this angle that he's taking because, I agree with it. I have to say, because you have people that, your ego gets in the way and your ego wants you to be the president. And by the way, I'm not saying that was the case, right? But ultimately, come on now, right? Because if you know your role, you're going to play your role because you see he eventually played his role, which is why PBD is saying you should have did it sooner. Back to the video.
You can replace masters with the guy that helped you become a governor.
Yeah.
You never outshine that guy. That is the kiss of death when you do that. You cannot do that because that person forever is going to know that secretly you always want to take him out to have his throne. And once that's out there, that guy cannot in the back of his mind ever take that away from his brain. It's always going to be here. It's going to be like, oh, I know where you're at. Okay, no problem. Oh, no, but you, no, I know what you want. I know deep down inside you want my throne. No problem. Versus a role he could have played like a Godfather. What is it? That Robert Duvall plays. I always butcher his name. Is Tom Hagner? What's the guy's name? The consigliere to the boss. You obviously watch many movies from just seeing all these questions.
Not too many movies. None.
Very obviously. You're a big movie guy here. But no, I think that's the part. I think once he did that, it was bad for him. But he's 45. He's got plenty of run rate. He just needs to be a phenomenal flag carrier. And
can a flag carrier ever ascend to the alpha?
I was just about to say that. Tucker, you took the words out my mouth, man. But look, in my opinion, before he answers, I think it's a yes. I think a yes. If you play your role properly and you actually, fulfill your duty properly and you learn, right? And because another thing, you're watching the president, you're seeing the day-to-day, right? And that doesn't mean that you could just, be president next year, right? It doesn't mean you're qualified all of a sudden, but I think you have a chance, right? But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Back to the video.
Position.
For sure, Biden was a flag carrier.
Yeah.
For sure. George Bush Sr. is a flag carrier. Nixon was a flag carrier. There's the model of flag carrier is actually very easy to be a president. Ulysses S. Grant was a flag carrier, right? And then boom, he became two-term. Not necessarily the best president, but they did become a president. So if he's solving for being a president, you can do it, but you got to be a great flag carrier. Most of the time, flag carriers are not the best communicators. Most of the time, flag carriers are not the best to get up there and do what they do. They need somebody to edify them. So if you're not the best orator, speaker, you're a very good day-to-day getting policies and stuff done, which he can do. He's a very smart guy. You need a big orator with a big mic to defend you and back you up. He lost that mic, and he's got to figure out a way to gain that mic back for 2028.
Fascinating. I think correct.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said a second ago. You said that, in fact, you even looked at me like it was a dumb question, which it probably was. October 7th was a pivot point in conservative media, and it divided it. How and why, and is it permanent?
Oh, man. I mean, listen, anybody that's a big talent, deep down inside, there's probably some ego, a lot of ego, like I'm better than you ego, I'm smarter than that guy.
I promise I've never watched this video. I literally just said that. Right? That ego can get the best of you. Back to the video.
And, it's tough to admit to a mistake while you're going through it. Some of these guys made massive mistakes, right? Now, the problem...
Like what?
The position you take with Candace, that's a problematic position. Now, to give him credit, he came out and said, Daily Wire is not a platform. We're a publisher. As a publisher, we can't let go of anybody. You're right.
Yeah.
Totally fine. You can do that for sure. And then the argument is, well, we had Dave Rubin on, and Rubin says, well, you don't know the whole story and what's going on there. And she had said something and da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Yeah, she questions certain questions. Now, you may say, we're not comfortable with this. No problem. But your position when, you knock off, you go after, Candace talking about Crisis King, and then you're playing the games. And then if the story comes out, the fact that they use Candace asking Ben for a debate as a form of getting the gag order, if that story comes out, let's just say that story is true. I think Glenn Greenwald reported on it. If that is true, if it's not true, well, then Glenn Greenwald's got to go through it and say what he's got to say. But if that story is true, that they used the tweet from Candace to almost lure her in and then call the lawyers to, if that story ever comes out in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, if that comes out, that's very problematic, because talent is going to have to feel comfortable going somewhere. Great talent is going to have to go somewhere that they feel safe, they feel protected. A Dana White is a great case study for this. Conor McGregor, a diva, loud, problematic sometimes, chaotic. Dana knows how to work with him. Okay. Phil Jackson, nobody wanted Dennis Rodman. Phil knows how to work with Dennis Rodman. Come here, we'll win. He goes to the Lakers, come here, we'll win. They did, right? And before Chuck Daly, who was a coach of the Pistons, Draymond Green, Steve Kerr can handle it, right? Sometimes talent, if you look at how they are, there needs to be somebody that knows how to work with them as well. You have to show as a publisher, as a media company, that you know how to get talent, build them up, and also you know how to be on close.
And you see, that is the biggest problem, right? Some of them aren't even building them up. I'm just going to be honest with you. A lot of talent today, they have talent, and some of them already have an audience, right? So, they're really just they of course they're bringing the dollars to the table, the ad dollars, right? But mostly they're extracting, right? They're not here to teach. They're not here to be patient with you, right? Like how a Conor McGregor is to a Dana White, right? It's not like that. So I'm just pushing back a little bit, Pat, but you are right, though. You are right. I'm not really pushing back. I'm agreeing, but it's deeper, and that's what I would say to that, right? Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, you have to know how to nurture the talent, right? You have to know how to, when things go wrong and when things go right, how to reward the talent or take things away, right? Back to the video.
Those doors to massage and work with them while they're going through their changes as a talent. If you don't know how to manage ego and manage divas, you're eventually going to lose your best talent to elsewhere that knows how to do that. And number two, the divas are always going to be scared of someone like you, because that's the one thing they don't want. They don't want to go to a place to be like, hey, here's what I need you to do. And then what eventually ends up happening is the following. Eventually, look at Fox's reputation.
Mm.
You got Bill O'Reilly, you got Beck, you got Megan, you got you. Okay? What do all four of you guys have in common?
I know them all.
Of course you do. You guys were all number one. You guys crushed it on cable TV for God knows how many years. And you guys all had a ugly falling out at the end. Fox has to rebuild that reputation if they want to attract talent like that. If not, what they're going to end up catching themselves doing is, especially at a time where more people are realizing, I don't need you. This is very problematic. Like, it's not like the leverage is on them. They can, the way some of these media companies are acting today, they could have gone away with that 20 years ago. You can't today.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't get away with that anymore. Why? Because people are streaming more than ever. They're not, again, to you cable watchers, you watch cable, that's fine, right? But, you know, you're not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm going to treat you how I want to treat you, thinking you're going to keep him when somebody else can take your talent. And they may not even be on cable. And the people off cable are getting more views. Ooh, I'm bringing it out today. Yeah, absolutely. We cooking today. Back to the video.
Because talent has a choice. They didn't have a choice 20 years ago. Where am I going to go 20 years ago? Think about it. 20 years ago, if I'm working for CNN or MSNBC and I got a show, and Rachel Maddow and whatever, Brian Stelter and, you know, all the guys that you, and all of a sudden they go super left and you're in between the Maddow show. Boom. You know what? I just don't think they have a place for me. This guy's done.
Wait, that actually happened to me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm reading. And so
I was like, that sounds so familiar.
Right. And then, well, you know, and then Jon Stewart, you know, well, let me tell you, you just got to stop. By the way, that would be a very good, interesting podcast if you ever do with Jon Stewart.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it would be. I mean, it would be interesting. I want to be a good sport about it.
The world would watch it.
Yeah, I mean, the world would watch all kinds of ugly things. But I just try to think. I have such contempt for him. I guess maybe that would make it hard.
All right. Gather round. All right. So what do I think about Pat's take, right? Because really, you know, Pat was going in a couple of different directions, but mainly, you know, the main thing that I got out of this was, look, number one, treat your talent right. If not, they're going to get taken, and don't act like they can't, right? Especially the cable companies and the cable people, right? Because your talent can definitely get taken by the streamers. I don't know if you guys saw, Jake Paul and Mike Tyson did a huge Netflix deal, right, for their fight, and it's going to be on Netflix, right? I'm sure you guys know this by now, right? A lot of people know this, right? The world is changing. The world is changing. And if you don't change with it, you're going to get left behind. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you slap the like button, kick the subscribe button for more. Until next time, I'm out.